So you're on mute.
Good evening, friends. Let's have a round of the journey of the kingdom of trainers. The trainers which has got the highest esteem in the world of economic development of any nation. When you talk about trainer as a profession, you find that because of the increasing high social respect, congenial environment, and attractive remunerative services, and gaining work experience, ultimately leading to the enhanced self-esteem, we find that this kingdom of the trainers is a wonderful journey which we have to undertake. I'm sure in the morning you would have started the journey. Today we are going to discuss something about the learning process. Before that, I would like to give the backdrop of the training activities. See, the fast changing environment of knowledge and learning calls for a high demand for the training activities. With the advancement of technology, we find that the pedagogical changes have taken place. There was a time when simply storytelling happened to be the way of communication with the learners. But today we find that it is not only the lecture method, but we can go to the use of ICT leading to chatbots, and many more things are there. And recently, the emergence of the artificial intelligence has started to pave the way for the trainers. Simultaneously, HRD dynamics have also got a lot of changes. There we find that training is no more a one-way communication. It is the participative, facilitative training. But the aim of the training remains the same. The aim of training basically is to improve the performance. When you find that performance of the employees is not increasing because of various reasons, then there is a demand for the training activity. It is not only one-time episode, but you find that frequently, whenever there had been change in the ecosystem, either in technology or in organization structuring, we find there is need of training. And that is the reason we find that the time has gone when we used to learn once, and throughout the life, the learning used to be the asset. Now we have come in the era where we have to unlearn many things, relearn many things. So this learning system has again been engaged into unlearning and the relearning. There is again focus on the competencies and skills along with the knowledge. Simply, we can gain the knowledge out of various domains, but still you find that the competencies and the skills is the domain area of any learning ecosystem. It becomes difficult. What to talk of the micro level training, even at the national level, we find that the HRD has been the national strategy which calls for frequent training. Recently, the new education policy which has been launched in the country calls for huge degree of training activities. Again, when I tell you the challenge before the economy is not for getting the clientele, you find that the youngest country of the world, having the age of 29 years, simultaneously, we are at the fifth stage of the among the largest economies, going to jump the leap to remain in the third position in the years to come. But problem is that still we find that there is problem of unemployment because of the one factor that we could not unlearn many things and relearn many new things. And for that purpose, we find that we have to upgrade ourselves. And that way, this diploma in training and development is the vehicle by which most of my friends who have joined, either they are engaged in the HRD activity or they are starting their career as the professional trainer. There are again certain aspects. It is not the focus of the training on the individuals, but the government is also stressing upon training activities. It is the NGOs, it is the government, it is the individual capacity, it is the individual organizations. So all they have been asking for, going for the training activities. But again, there are certain myths about the training. And that is the common myths which we have to remove them. By virtue of our professionalism in the training fraternity, we find that because of the emergence of some unqualified professionals or the trainers, we find that it has got the lip sympathy by majority of the corporates and some trainers as well. And they utter the words like training is a wastage of money. And if it is wastage of money, why should we go for training? Then we also find that it is right that we are going for the training, but this training is totally theoretical. It is not practical. Again, there is accusation on the training aspect that superficial training has been there. Again, we find that many of the organizations find that let the incompetent people, let the disturbing elements of the staff be sent for the training so that some of the stress can be relieved. So that we find that along with that, many of the organizations feel that for boosting up the image of the corporate, we can send some people for the training activities. And these are the things that compel us to make compromises on the quality of the entry behavior of the trainees. That is the reason that it has been given simply lip sympathy. But the crux of my discussion is that training is need of the hour, and we have to enhance the level of the training. We have to enhance the status of the training in the ecosystem of our economy. There had been a lot of changes in the R&D activities of the training environment, and we have to catch hold of these training changes. We have to develop the course contents. The things which were taught in 1980s is no more relevant. Say, for example, if I go back to my own learning stage, I can simply say there was a time when we used to take the help of floppies, and we find that the floppies were used to be there. We used to develop the programs, and it was difficult for us to type the sentences on the screen. But today you find that the technology has come in our hands, and we find that the mobile phone has been used extensively, and whenever we go, we take the help of these people. Not only that, the assessment parameters have changed, the delivery system has changed, and there had been a high degree of accountability of the training agencies. It is not simply to impart the training to the staff without any evaluation. The organizations who are responsible for undertaking the activities, they expect a lot. They expect a lot, because the basic reason of starting any training is simply the basic reason of enhancing the training activity is simply to improve the performance. There may be various reasons of decrease in the performance. Organization is more interested in enhancing the performance, not for this lip sympathy sort of thing, but we find that for improving the performance, we have to go for training activities for improving the performance. A performance can be dropped because of various reasons, because of the technological obsolescence, because of the non-involvement of the people, because of the behavioral deficit of the employees. Say, for example, if there is no involvement, then there will definitely be high degree of attrition Same is the case with level of the stress. Because of the stress, people may not join the activities. So that way, it becomes difficult for the organization to cope up with that. So there can be either demand from the organizations or the agencies who can educate the organization or who can create the system for developing the training activities in an organization. That we find that preparing a training program is of immense use. That way we find the concept of training must be understood by the people concerned. There are only three types of people who are stakeholders of the training. Number one, the organizations where the training is taking place. Either the organizations are interested. The beautiful example of training is that Chandrayaan-3 was launched, and the success story of Chandrayaan-3 is that we learned from the failure. The technological glitches were there. We learned from it, and we found that the same thing should not repeat again, and we could be successful this time. So when there is less performance, we can identify the reasons for that and we can improve upon them. So we have to understand the basic concept of training, and it is not only that, we have to think in terms of why it is needed. There should be proper need identification. The training need identification will be paving a way for launching the training program of an organization. And for that purpose, we will have to talk about a detailed training program to be undertaken in an organization by the training agency or by the individual trainer who is undertaking the responsibility of the trainer. I'll be sharing certain PPTs. So that will be helping for us for developing the better understanding. Just for a minute. Kindly confirm whether it is visible.
No, sir, not as
Okay.
of yet.
So today I'll be talking about developing a training plan. How can you develop the plan, which consists of various aspects of the training activities? Say, for example, when you talk about training, training is simply a planned process to modify the existing attitude, knowledge, and skills. See, there has been basic objective of the knowledge sharing, or for the purpose of education, we can simply say, if there is a change to be brought with reference to the knowledge part, that is facts or information, we have to bring the change in the skilling set, we have to bring the change in the attitude, and we have to make the habit of the people for better performance. That way we find it is a planned process to bring changes in the attitude, knowledge, and the skill set. Through learning experience, we can simply say that when the learners will be brought to cross the river of the learning, we can find that different type of learning experience will be there that will be making change. Again, to achieve the effective performance in an organization, we need training, and it is an activity or a group of activities which is designed for enhancing the performance. And not the least, but we have to satisfy the needs of an organization. What does it mean? It simply means that the organization, when they find that the position is diluted and organization needs to improve the performance, they would like to send the employees for the training. See, organization is a group of people in a system which will be giving the performance, or the ultimate objective of the organization will be achieved only with reference to the employees of the organization. Again, we find through this graph that when you find there is a thorough state of the affairs of the employees with reference to the behavior, the training will be the inputs which will be enhancing the behavior with reference to smile on the face. So that way we can define it is a systematic development of knowledge, skill, attitude, behavior pattern, which is essentially required by an individual to perform adequately a given task of job. So for example, when there had been emergence of artificial intelligence, people are equipped with the computer knowledge, but they are not equipped to deal with the artificial intelligence. We need a different set of knowledge, skills, attitude, and that will bring the change in the behavior. So we find that from one point to the next point, we find there has to be change, and that change calls for changes in the motor skills, changes in the cognitive skills, changes in the cognitive skills. So we can find either the things must be seen in the change form, either in the behavior or in the skill or in the execution of the activities. Now question is that what is a plan? Like any other plan, training plan is either can be termed as the noun or the verb. When you talk about the detailed proposal of doing or achieving something in the name of training activity, it is a noun. But when you talk about the activities, the group of activities, it is a plan to do something for enhancing the performance. We can call it a verb as the plan. Again, we find there has been a systematic approach of the training. Here we find that the journey starts with the identification of the training needs, which may be related to the organization as a whole, to a job or to a task. Basically, when we talk about the organization's requirement, there can be multifaceted requirements or the needs. Or when we talk about the specific job, and on the specific job, say for example, to work on the shop floor will be a job, but it is not necessary to talk in general. We have to be very specific about the particular task which is to be performed on the shop floor. And with reference to these needs, on the basis of TNI, we have identified a training need identification. We have found that certain performance objectives are to be set by we as the trainers. If we set the objectives, then again, for achieving these objectives, we will be setting the methods of the training. And for that purpose, we will be imparting the methods, we will be imparting the technology for designing our training program. It is further moved with reference to the pre-training issues. There are three types of training phases. One is pre-training issues, pre-training phase. Second is during the training, and third is the post-training issues. Here we find there are certain things which are to be decided well in advance before we start any training activities. Say, for example, who will be the people who are to be trained? What will be the sitting arrangement? What will be the avenue for the training? What will be the material to be delivered? So these pre-training issues are there to be tackled with. Then when we implement the same training program, we find that we have to implement, and it talks about the action orientation. Simultaneously, after imparting the training, that is the practical part, we have to see that we have to rub shoulders with the trainees. The trainees and the trainers will be jointly doing a work which will be imparting the knowledge, skills, making changes in attitude. And for that purpose, it is highly challenging task, because we find that trainees are coming with a different background. People having less experience, more experience. People are having the level of the knowledge, less knowledge, more knowledge. So we have to accommodate all these people in view of this particular group of trainees. Then we have to talk about the post-training issues. The post-training issues talks about getting the feedback as what has been done in the training session, what had been the positive side of the training and what further needs to be improved among the training inputs. And after that, we find that we have to evaluate the training activity, which may take place concurrently. We have to monitor as what has been there with the training activity.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
For that purpose, many times you find that trainers go for recording of the video and audio. And on the basis of that, we can simply modify and improve for subsequent training activity.
Sir, sorry to disturb you, sir.
Simultaneously, we have to talk about the training process. The training process, again, it will be further simplifying what we have been talking in our previous presentation. We simply identify the training needs. On the basis of these training needs, we will be talking about the training objective.
Sir, sorry to interrupt
there
you
are
in
two
between.
aspects of the learning objective.
Excuse me.
One is about the learning
Pawan
objective
sir.
of the
Pawan
entire
sir.
course.
Good evening,
Say, for
Pawan sir, can
example,
you hear
this
us?
learning process we are talking about. Our objective is to learn the objectives of this particular course.
chat pe ping karo.
Secondly, there can be a course specific objectives, like with reference to this particular topic, what can be our objectives? It should be helping
Sir,
us
please
to
go
understand
slow
or
and
to
please
equip
make
the
us
learner
explain also about the
to
things.
best understand the process of learning. Further, we find
Sir, you are
that
not
we have
listening to our questions,
design
please.
the training design. And when you talk about training design, it talks a lot, as we discussed earlier. We have to take the stock of the participants, their profile, their education, their level of understanding, their level of experience. We
Sir.
are having the stock of that. We have to manage the
Sir,
content development as in
Sir.
view of the experience of the participants. What can be
Hello,
the
sir.
contents to be delivered? What are the inputs which are to be delivered?
Hello,
So
sir.
behavior can be modified so that the knowledge sphere can be modified. And after that, we have to talk about the training budget. What is that?
Please raise your hand in case you want
Any
to.
activity for training needs a different type of financial resources. So we have to understand what are the budgetary provisions for that.
चालू रखें?
Either the organization
हाँ,
provides
एकदम,
or
एकदम.
if we as the external
चालू रखें गाने
agency or
को?
external channel go to the organization,
हम
we have to
होंगे
put forth our budgeting
कामयाब,
that this will be the
हम
cost,
होंगे
and in
कामयाब, एक
budgeting
दिन
cost we have to find, in the training budget we have to mention
इतना है
as
विश्वास।
what are the fixed cost, what are the variable cost, and what is the
चलो,
mix
let's
of
bunk
that.
the
ये
class and
आईएसटीडी
according
ने
to
कोई
we have to
रिकॉर्डिंग तो
make
नहीं
some
चला दिया
provision
आईएसटीडी ने कोई
of some
रिकॉर्डिंग तो नहीं
margin,
चला दिया
so that because it is our bread and butter for the trainers, so we have to talk about the training budgets. When you are talking about with the organizational
कोई
perspective,
रिकॉर्डिंग
you have
चल
to
रहा है
understand that the training budget is generally prepared by
कोई
the
तो रिकॉर्डिंग
organization.
चल रहा है पक्का
And simultaneously, we have to talk about the training methods. There are various training methods, right from lecture method to the simulation. So in view of the requirement of the trainees or participants. Yes, Gurvindra ji. Okay, I'll stop and I'll go back. Okay. Okay. Yeah, friends, I'll be coming back to you after completing this PPT. So please bear with me. I'll completing this PPT and then I'll be shifting for replying your queries.
Can you hear us,
The
sir?
training media
Can
and
you
the
hear
training
us? Sir,
materials
sir,
will
can
have
you
to
Sir,
hear
go
us?
and
PPT
design
is
the
not
training program.
visible.
PPT is
Subsequently,
not
we have to
visible.
deliver the training program, which talks about how the training is to be communicated, the training schedule, and the training venue. And on the basis of this training delivery, we will be further going for measuring the effectiveness. So this will be the overall program of the of this training process.
सर आपको आवाज आ रही है हमारी? पवन सर, can you hear us? Any one of us?
Yes, please. Some people were asking certain things.
Sir,
Is PPT not visible?
PPT
Oh,
is
sorry.
not.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Sir, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you. Please.
Sir, we have for last 5-10 minutes, so many people have been speaking, but we don't know what was the reason you are not able to hear us. We are not able to see any PPT on the screen. None
Okay,
of us.
I'll be coming back to you. Is there any other issue other than that?
So, sir, we didn't follow anything. We
Sir,
couldn't
we did not
understand
follow what
anything.
you are telling without the PPT.
There is no
That-
Okay,
PPT.
right.
PPT is not visible.
I'll be coming back to the PPT part. Right. Is it okay?
No, sir.
PPT is still not visible.
Oh my
Sir,
God.
also I will request you to please go slow and
Okay.
make the things explained. That will be
Okay.
the need of the hour, sir. As
So
this is
I'll be
this,
going slow. I'll be going slow
yes, sir.
and explaining in detail.
Yes, this is
Okay.
one thing which will be required by all, sir. That's why.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Yes, yeah.
Or I can do one thing. I'll be sharing the PPTs to you later on, or I should simply go for extempore presentation, or should I use the PPTs along with this?
Sir,
Sir, you should
use the PPT along with this.
Sir,
Okay.
what is
So the PPT.
what is the subject and what is the content and relevance?
Okay. Is it okay? Is it visible now?
No.
Oh my God.
Sir, can we please request you to start from the very beginning, because none
Okay,
of us understood anything, sir.
definitely I'll be going. I'll be doing.
this paper is the second most important paper, sir, in this second semester examination.
I can understand.
Yeah.
I can
So we
understand.
request you to please, follow our advice and recommendations.
Okay. See, I'll be. It will be more congenial to discuss about the overall activity of this particular paper. We are simply talking about managing the learning process. The basic aim of this paper is to know is how the learning activity is to be undertaken and what will be the process through which we have to move around. Okay. So I will start again with reference to please bear with me. I'll communicating to Mr. Gurvinder for connecting us. मैं कह रहा हूं कि जो आपके Hello. Sorry. Because of some technical glitches, some problems were there, and very soon we'll be coming with the PPTs. Mr. Gurvinder is helping us. Friends, we were talking about the learning process as how the learning process is to take place by the trainer. I started my lecture with reference to the changing scenario in the HRD domain. And because of the technological changes, because of the changes in the ecosystem of HRD dynamics, we found it that unless we improve the technicalities of the training activity, it will be difficult.
No sound.
Oh. Is still no sound? No sound?
No, we are able to hear, sir.
We are able to hear.
We are able to hear.
Okay.
Also, I am able to hear, sir.
Yeah, we can hear, sir. Okay. I asked Mr. Gurvinder to connect with the PPT, so he'll be helping us because of some technical glitches in my system. I am finding it difficult, but tomorrow it will be done professionally well. See, that is the hindrances in the training activities. Either some lapses are there because of the technical glitches, or because of some sort of some problems. We find it difficult to start to manage these training activities. Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, sir.
Friends, I'm communicated by the concerned person that some technicalities are there, so it becomes difficult for me to share the PPT.
Sir, sound is not coming.
Will it be possible to defer today's class subsequently, because the PPTs cannot be shared right now? Hello.
No problem, sir.
Yes, I
Yes,
think,
sir.
We
I
can,
think
no
that is a
problem.
better idea, sir.
I'm sorry, we can reschedule it.
No problem, sir.
subsequently.
You can do that.
Right, I'm extremely sorry because today is Sunday and the concerned people are not available. Nevertheless,
issue,
just let's have the informal chat
Okay, sir.
and I
Be
will
fine,
give
sir.
No problem,
Be
sir. We
fine.
can do that.
We can do that.
let me give the
We
brief introduction.
understand.
I am a professor at R.A. Poddar Institute of Management, Jaipur right now. Before that, I served as professor of management at
No sound
Vardhaman.
yet.
Yeah.
आ रही सर, आ रही, चलने दो सर.
Okay.
Recently change your network. Sound is clear.
Yeah. I am a superannuated professor of management from Vardhaman Mahavir Open University, Kota in Rajasthan. In ISCD, I've been associated for last 15 years. And I happen to be chairman of the diploma board some 2014-15. And after superannuation, I have shifted to Jaipur and I am visiting professor at R.A. Poddar Institute of Management right now. Before that, I also joined as consultant to Boss India Foundation as the skill development consultant. So I have been engaged equally in the teaching as well as training. The beauty of my teaching, I found, is that unless I incorporated some training inputs, the teaching was not effective. So this teaching will also be enriched when we enhance the training activities. So training and teaching go hand in hand. We are more focused on the knowledge part, but when we talk about the training part, we talk a lot about the blend of knowledge, skill, attitude, and habit formation of the learners. So that is my background. And because of some technicalities, it has been little difficult for me. From tomorrow onwards, we will be doing in a better way. But subsequently, I can start the same lecture tomorrow, so we can further fine tune the system. Thank you very much for bearing this problem with you. We are already very serious senior persons, really serious at this age of the learning expectations at this age. So with this reference, we can wind up today, and we'll meet tomorrow at the same time at 4 o'clock. Okay, sir? Right.
सर मोबाइल नंबर
Not
क्या है
tomorrow, next Sunday.
Next
सर
week.
आपका मोबाइल नंबर दे दो सर
Sir, by tomorrow office.
Sir, please
I
keep it
am-
on Sundays only. As we
Only
all are
Sunday,
working,
sir.
we request you to please keep on Sundays.
But I've been given the schedule.
Maybe put the presentation
I-
less time.
Arey,
but
let him
continue Sunday.
speak, guys. Let him speak.
I have been asked to go regularly, but I don't mind. I'll check with the organizers. If it is on every Sunday, I don't mind coming on Sundays. Okay?
Sure, sir.
Okay, sir.
No
Okay,
problem.
sir.
I'll check it and I'll communicate accordingly that on every Sunday we will be having the classes. Okay?
would
Okay,
love
sir.
to have you sir
Thank you very much for actually that is the duty of the trainers. There is a high degree of flexibility in the minds of the trainers. So I being trainer, you being trainee today, and maybe trainer elsewhere. So there is a degree of flexibility we have to adhere to. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
बहुत बहुत
Thank you,
धन्यवाद
sir. Thank
सर
you.
आपका